Growing up, most of us just want to make the world a little bit better. This might have stemmed from watching greatness growing up and its impact on people. Maybe it was how the hero would risk everything to protect the common person. Or maybe you just saw how much your parents sacrificed to provide a good life. All I know is that it was a calling that I could no longer ignore. And it has been 3 months since I quit my job. And while it took months of preparation to be able to make that decision and ultimately leave the place that I had been for the past 5 years, nothing would have prepared me for the lessons that I have learned here in these past couple months. These are the 4 lessons quitting my job has taught me. Life is like a book. In the beginning of life, it is similar to the foreword in a novel. We learn from our parents and our teachers. The school bell guides our day, and our friends begin to shape our personalities. But it is all in hope that when we graduate high school, we have the tools to begin living our lives. But unfortunately, rarely do we ever decide to actually grab a pen and begin writing our own story. We still let our day be dictated by our work schedule, our loved ones' comments, and the fear of failure. And when I quit my job, it was the first time that I really felt like I held the pen to my own story. And initially, it felt liberating. I no longer had someone to tell me what to do, and I no longer felt like my time was just going to be wasted. I was solely responsible for everything. But in reality, I was lost. And I mean lost. I no longer knew any aspects of how to live my life. The life that I had been living for so long was always based off of guidelines and what it was that I had to do. And I came to the conclusion that this was one of the first times in my life that in some ways I've been alone. And when doing this, I realized that I thought in my life it was just gonna happen, and these things were just gonna be handed to me. In reality, I needed to make it happen. And this is true no matter what stage you are in life. You have the power to dictate your own emotional response to something, or the priority in which you live your life. The world will ask you who you are, and if you don't know, the world will tell you. The future is so unknown, so live. And right when I quit my job, I ended up being quite stressed over the decision I made, and I kept thinking, what if I ran out of money? What if I was a fool? What if I am not good enough? And then I realized something interesting. For the last 2 years, I have gone to 2-hour sessions every single Friday with my therapist. But since I quit my job, I've only gone once. And that's because I no longer have anything to talk about. I began living in the present. So much of our lives is running from the past and trying to protect the future at the cost of the only thing that is actually real, the present. And when I stopped living so much in the future and just dwelling on the past, I began to realize ultimately just how peaceful my life actually is. You start to notice things that you never have before, and it's the closest that I have felt to being a kid again. Be obsessed, not distracted. I used to be a workaholic. Everything was focused on making money. And one of the main reasons I ended up quitting my job was to be able to have a balance between my life and what it is that I love. And to my surprise, as soon as I quit my job, I went right back into the corporate mindset and spent every waking hour working on YouTube. I was sacrificing everything in my life all over again, but I painted it as I was following my dreams, and I was obsessed with having my passion become what it is that I saw it could be. But ultimately, I ended up getting burnt out, and I no longer was loving what it was that I was doing, making YouTube videos. So I ended up taking a 2-week break, and I completely separated myself from everything. And during this time, I realized that it wasn't really obsession. I was using it as a distraction from the emotions I was feeling, and ultimately some hard conversations that I didn't really want to have. And I believe this is why so many of us feel so uneasy and a bit anxious right now. We have the most addicting palette of distractions to choose from than ever before in history. And we haven't given ourselves the time and distance from the distraction to discover it is that we are actually obsessed with. And it was my obsession that has allowed me to follow my dreams and to be able to discover truly what it is and the life that it is that I want to live. Time goes fast. During this time, both my parents hit an age milestone. But during this time, my grandfather's health also began to deteriorate even faster. And this brought me to something that I will never forget. Freshman year of high school, our biology teacher told us to cherish these moments because life will only begin to go faster. And it has been 10 years since he has said that. And I can't even describe how much of a blur it has all been. We all feel like we have forever. And maybe this is why we distract ourselves so much. But the moments with your significant other, your kids, your parents, are only getting shorter. Each day that passes, you aren't actually getting more time. You are losing it. There eventually will be the last time you do anything that it is that you love. So each and every time you do it, be present in the moment. Soak it in. These are life's true treasure. As a kid, you have dreams and aspirations of how you will change the world. And slowly, as you begin getting older, those dreams fade away, and ultimately you end up being scared to even mention it, because you don't want to hear you'll never make money from that. So I want to take this moment to say how proud I am of my younger self, and I'm so proud of the courage you have to keep taking one step in front of the other, to take a leap of faith and say no to money, living life in hopes to make the world just a little bit better. So I just ask of you, please take a moment and just give thanks to your younger self for all that they've had to fight for to get you to where you are at this moment. And I just want to thank all of you, as we've just been able to grow the community to over 1,000 people. And this is truly a dream of mine to be able to do this. And I'm really honored that you guys spend some of your time here with me listening to what it is that I have to say. I'm really excited for what it is that we're doing, and I just really do cherish and thank all of you guys so much. So again, thank you.